Hello, how's it going? Good to see everybody. My name's Nicholas Byrne. I'm a senior from Athens, and I major in advertising and minor in music here. And I was saying the last time I was in this room was when I was in your seats, and it feels really cool to be back and to tell you all about my experience with the Morehead-Cain. Also, I'll be sitting over there. If you don't know how to say y'all yet, we can walk through it. We can do a little demonstration workshop. It's going to be a great learning experience. So, in high school, I took photos and played music all the time and was in the journalism program at my high school. And when I was applying to college, I decided that I was going to be an adult and that I was going to apply to programs that could make me money and that could make my parents proud and that would put me on a path, straight shot to age 22, where I am now, where I could start that adult life. What I didn't know at the time when I was sitting in your seat was that my experience would be completely different than what I imagined. Even from after accepting the Morehead-Cain scholarship, my experience was completely different than what I would have imagined. This program gave me the opportunity to grow in a way that I never could have imagined. The flexibility of the staff and of my friends and of the people that surrounded me and that the people you're surrounded by right now, they could be your best friends for the next 4 years of your life. You could travel the world with them. You could create business ideas, get them funded by the Discovery Fund, live in cities around the world in houses together. I was in a house this summer with 5 other scholars in Los Angeles, and we had the best time. So I'm going to tell you about the path that I ended up creating for myself that has made me feel so happy and so fulfilled. And I'm so excited that you have the opportunity to have that experience where you get to discover what you want to do, what you really want to do, not just what will make your parents proud or what you think you have to do. So I spent my first summer in Tanzania, and this was kind of a departure from my business plan. I'd already started deciding that I wanted to explore music and to explore what it meant to create art and to hang out with artists and what they thought about the world. So I'm a photographer and a director and really into video and that kind of thing, and spent the summer working with an organization that hosted studio space for visual artists, but also musicians. And basically, I would come into work every day and spend time with these Tanzanians who I had, on paper, not that much in common with, but we shared a really similar love of music and of expression. And basically, I helped put on a music festival in Tanzania. I worked for a film festival there in Zanzibar. I would spend time on the beach writing songs with musicians and recording videos next to shipwrecks and taking pictures under the stars and talking about my experience on my NOLA's trip the last summer. At the end of that summer, I actually climbed Mount Kilimanjaro with 3 other scholars. It's kind of a common thing that people do. If you're on the continent of Africa, you'll meet up somewhere along the way. But the experience in Tanzania really changed my path here at school. And a theme of my experience at Carolina has been taking time away from Carolina. And I think that you might learn more sometimes from field trips, you might call it. So with the Morehead-Cain, you get to take a lot of field trips. And you get to design the field trips that you want to do. And it's really great. It's really great. So I spent the summer in Tanzania and came back to school with kind of a different path, something I figured out that I really wanted to continue to spend time with artists and to continue to spend time with people that inspired me. And so I started applying to working at record labels, and my skill that I had to offer was a video editor and a photographer, and I had the amazing experience of spending time in Tanzania. And I think that in a professional sense, the Morehead-Cain can offer you 3 things: your peers, the people that you're with that will inspire you to apply for things that you never thought you'd be qualified for, to dream of things that you couldn't even have thought of. But there's great minds around you that can help you come up with those ideas. Second of all, and the flexibility of the staff themselves to encourage you to take those leaps. And third, and what happened to me in Tanzania and every summer, is the ability to knock on any door and say that I can come work for you for free for a summer, for every summer that you're in college. So that can put you in the room where no one else has that opportunity, where they don't have to pay you for you to be there, And then when you show up and you work hard and you show how unique and interesting of a person you are and how much you care, it can really advance your career in a way that no other program could. So when I came back to school, I decided that I was going to take more time off from school. And I remember calling one of the advisors, Julie, and having her encourage me to take time off of school in order to pursue an internship in Nashville. So it was a little bit scary for my parents, I think, and for myself. It was another time where I was leaving home. Carolina had already started to feel like home to me. But I was very, very appreciative of the flexibility of the program to allow me to do that. And so I went to Nashville and worked for Universal Music. And so I went from one summer working with Tanzanian artists to this next spring working with country musicians. And it was really cool. I basically designed marketing campaigns and edited videos for album releases and tours, and got to work with artists like Keith Urban and Casey Musgraves and Chris Stapleton. And it was really amazing to not only be able to spend time with artists, but to be able to spend time with people who work with artists and how they think about creative careers. And that made me think about my own creative career and how I could actually do something that I really cared about and didn't have to make sacrifices. So country music, East African music. My next summer was in Los Angeles. This was directly after Nashville. So I spent the summer working for Rock Nation, which is Jay-Z's management company and record label, and was an artist management intern. I made a lot of phone calls. I called a lot of airlines, making sure that every member of a band or of a tour group had gluten-free food on every single flight on a tour. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and they literally had me with people's passports impersonating them. They're like, just pretend to be them, like you legally represent them. I was like, okay, that's crazy. Hi, my name is not Nicholas Byrne, and I'm here I would like a gluten-free meal. So I also at Rock Nation was doing some A&R work, which basically means that it's like scouting for songs and for artists. So go online and look for a talent and present it to some of their A&R people. And so I wouldn't be here if that worked out. None of my pitches worked. They didn't like any of the people that I gave them. But it was a really cool learning experience to be in the room and to be critiqued in a way that you bring in your best idea and someone tells you no, that is, this is why, this is what needs to change, or this is what we're looking for. Is such a great learning experience. So I took a semester off, went to LA, came back to school, and changed my major. Again, I actually changed my major twice to study advertising and to study music. So I came back to school and had an amazing opportunity to do a lot of work as an independent contractor. And so basically that means I was doing contracted work for Universal Music and Rock Nation, doing video projects, so directing and editing and producing videos for record labels. That includes music videos and also branded content. So we would do things like direct a video for a Universal Music artist that was sponsored by Budweiser, published on Rolling Stone. So these kind of projects that I didn't have any idea existed, I had the opportunity to work on with other scholars, actually, because I did not feel qualified, and I probably was not qualified to get those jobs. But what really made me confident in my ability to do it was my friends, and this is Rob Gorley up on both photos here with me eating the pork rinds, and also on one knee in front of this truck on a video shoot, and basically every time I'd get a call, I would bring my friends from Carolina, and we'd all drive to Nashville and do these video shoots and pretend to be adults. And that was another version of adulthood that I hadn't expected. So Rob and I would do these video shoots and end on 11 p.m. on a Sunday night, and then drive back overnight from Nashville. It's a 7-hour drive to get to our 8 a.m. classes. And it was really crazy. And I would have never expected to have had these opportunities or to have had those experiences with friends. Just so many memories beyond just the work itself. But it was so fun to be able to do that. So I recently have done less of these these contracted projects because I've decided to pursue some of my own creative endeavors and do things that I previously thought wouldn't have had real value, right? Like as someone who like makes music or someone who writes, you might think that you can't make money from what you do, but that's not true. And there is an immense amount of value that these creative endeavors can bring to yourself, and the Morehead-Cain is here to support that. And if that's something that you care about, that this program can support that for you. And so I spent the next summer this is the summer where I was in LA with 5 other scholars, living in this one house in Los Angeles again, working for Red Bull Music, and was doing the role of a producer and editor. So basically I would pitch ideas. They say like, we have this artist coming into town and you have 5 minutes with them. We need some social media content. And so I got to work with artists like Snail Mail and design the social media plan for Red Bull's coverage of Lollapalooza. And one of my good friends and another scholar, Scott Diekema, and I went out to Chicago to execute our plan. And basically, we got to take photos of artists like Billie Eilish and Odessa. And it was just a really wild experience, because really how these would work, it's not 5 minutes. It was like, you have 30 seconds with this artist. How do you make a good impression, have them trust you, trust your creative vision, take the photo itself, and leave them thinking positively about Red Bull and about the content that you're making. So this experience is another really crazy one, and working at a festival was another element of this music business career that I was interested in doing. So yeah, this is Snail Mail, and something that was really unique about this past summer in Los Angeles with Red Bull was that I had a lot more direct contact with artists, and that directly fueled some of my own creative energy, and to inspired me to write music and to put it on the calendar that every week I'm going to play with some other scholars. I'm actually in a band with a couple other scholars, and we practice every week. And for me, it was a direct result of these summer experiences, getting to spend time with people that are younger than me. Like Lindsay Jordan I think she's 18 or 19, and she writes amazing songs. And so why can't I write amazing songs? So it was great to be able to work in a professional sense, doing something that I already knew how to do, but interact with artists like this. This is my friend Scott. We were backstage at one of these shoots, trying not to get in people's ways. And this is me on the right. And it happened so fast, and I don't know if this was okay with the foundation, but I am okay now and I'm here. But basically I was strapped into this crane and put over the crowd at Lollapalooza to take time-lapse videos. And I was like, okay, yes, boss, yes, sir. It's kind of like a ask for forgiveness, show the cool photos later. But yeah, this was the view. And actually standing up there on that crane there's a lot of moments in the last 4 years that I've just thought about how crazy this has been and how grateful I am, and how I could not have imagined this for myself. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so excited that all of you have the opportunity to really write the path for yourself that you are really interested in doing, and to have the opportunity to graduate debt-free, and to be independent of your parents, or to be independent of a banker who you sign a loan with, and the opportunity to really, to do what you want to do. So thank you so much for listening, and if you have any questions, I'll be over there, but thanks.